For context, I've been married to my wife for 10 years and we're a mixed-race couple. I'm Asian and she's Caucasian. I've gotten along with her family, MIL, BIL, SIL, but I always felt like her FIL and other SIL, Sarah, never liked me. I'm a professionally trained chef with 15 plus years of experience and I work at a high-end Chinese restaurant, a spin-off of a popular one in Beijing, in a large US city. My crew and I have won several awards, and I've been explicitly told I'll be the next executive chef. Sarah is also a professionally trained chef and works at a popular upscale French restaurant in the city. She constantly brags about it and, no joke, compares herself out loud to Ramsay and Bourdain. Whenever I'm at my MIL and FIL's house and helping out in the kitchen, Sarah is always criticizing everything I do. Whether it's chopping, braising, marinating, etc., she always butts in with comments like, I think you should actually do X like this. I've been patient with my wife and sidestepping those comments, saying things like, thanks, but I think I'll stick to the way I do it. Things came to a head 2 weeks ago when my wife, FIL, MIL, and I were in her parents' kitchen prepping dinner for my MIL's birthday. We were running a bit behind so things were heated, which I kind of liked because it reminded me of work, and that's when Sarah walked in. She took one look at what I was doing, scoffed, and said something like, oh wow, okay, so that's not the right way of doing things. It hit a nerve and I pretty sternly told her to stop criticizing my cooking and that I'm also a chef like her. She laughed and said, making Kung Pao chicken at some Chinese restaurant doesn't count. The kitchen went silent, FIL snorted, chuckled, and my MIL yelled, Sarah, what is wrong with you? I stopped what I was doing, swore at her and called her a racist piece of shit, apologized to my MIL for not being able to stay, and left for home with my wife. Apparently this caused a massive fight after we left, with my MIL BIL other SAL taking my side and my FIL Sarah saying, it was a joke but kind of true, and that I was being too sensitive. The extended family somehow got wind of this and now everyone is arguing and taking sides, with my wife even getting texts from some of her cousins apologizing for Sarah's behavior. Despite being on my side, my wife is begging me to apologize so that the fighting will stop, but I refuse to because fuck Sarah and her blatant racism. Edit. My wife has also informed me that now Sarah may be in trouble at work and she's blaming me for it. Apparently, one of her co-workers heard her rant about what happened and reported it to management. Edit. To clarify, Sarah is blaming me, though my wife is partly blaming me, edit 2. Plus update. So it looks like one of my wife's cousins found this post and put it on Sarah's Facebook wall going, this is you, right? Her FB friends are starting to comment with things like, if this is you Sarah then I'm disappointed. I think Sarah's still at work, shit might be hitting the fan soon and now my wife is pissed too. We'll try to update but might have to delete post if things go nuclear. Edit 3 update 2, was considering removing but I just got a voicemail from my FIL that presence was only being tolerated up until this point and threatened a world of hurt if I didn't delete this post. Officially going to keep this post up and if you're still reading this Doug, I'm very disappointed in you, you're better than this. We'll also continue to update and thanks again for all your support folks. Edit 4 update 3, lots of stuff just went down. My wife got a call from SAL. From wife's paraphrasing, Sarah started screaming crying at her the moment my wife picked up and said that she just got demoted because of husband. Apparently, some of her co-workers have her on FB and showed the post to management, which combined with her earlier rant, double whammied her back to being a line cook and now she might get fired. My wife told her to go fuck herself and is now solidly on my side after taking the verbal abuse from Sarah and reading some of the comments here. My wife is still the opposite of happy though. The wife called MIL and asked her WTF was going on with FIL. MIL was confused so my wife played back the voicemail I had on my phone and apparently my MIL literally just walked away from the phone without hanging up and started screaming at FIL. Facebook post has now devolved into a clusterfuck flame war with family and friends jumping in. Suffice to say, it has officially gone nuclear. Me right now I think I'm going to have to call this a day. We'll make an update post when the dust settles. Thanks again folks. Edit 5 update 4, turns out I'm not allowed to post an update post for some reason. No, you provided all your updates in the original post with your many edits. You can edit this in, but we will not be allowing a standalone update on this. I'd like to clarify that I got my wife and MIL's permission to post this update, out of respect for them and their privacy. Suffice to say, it's been kind of nuts this past week. My wife and I had to turn off social media for a bit because of the shitstorm caused by her cousin putting my last post on Sarah's Facebook page. Some people even tried to call the restaurant I work at to get me fired as retribution, but luckily everyone there is 100% on my side, or as my boss put it, fuck those racists, so goddamn much. I guess it didn't help them that half the calls involved threats, screaming, and more racial slurs. We didn't hear any updates from her family, even though we assumed the shit met fan after MIL found out about FIL's threatening voicemail. Still disappointed in you, Doug. But that changed on Sunday night, when MIL suddenly showed up at our door with overnight bags. After we took a moment to help unpack and calm down, she spilled the beans on everything. FIL, aka Doug, my MIL and FIL were already having trouble in their marriage, and it was only made worse with a certain 2016 presidential election. She's a Dem, and he had gone more far-right since then. Seems that a line was crossed with the Kung Pao incident and his voicemail. When he refused to apologize for anything, typical Doug, she asked for a divorce and he went berserk. She didn't feel safe there, so that's when she came over. Other BIL and SIL live out of town. Extended family, aka the Great FB War of 2021, you may have been able to tell already, but the extended family was largely arguing, fighting, divided along political lines for a few years now, and my cousin's FB post was likely just the light to set off the powder keg. According to my MIL, the fallout has allegedly already led to some breakups, excommunication of some family members, and even an argument that ended with police involvement. Haven't verified this myself though. Sarah, according to my MIL, Sarah came over to her place on Friday. The writing was on the wall and she was basically forced to quit. Despite her trying to start from scratch as a line cook, the entire staff turned against her. Nothing was coming back from the dish pit for her and she was getting the cold shoulder. She's a great chef, I will admit this is true, but they took no chances since it turns out, shit you not, they're partly owned by a Chinese investment company. Found this hard to believe and didn't want to add this detail, but it turned out to be true after some research. Won't say any further for privacy. Word also got around in the local industry, and Sarah is essentially blacklisted from high-end establishments. She's now considering selling her home and moving to find work. As much as I don't like her and found her behavior horrifying, I didn't intend for this to happen, so I've reached out to some buds in other states to see if they had any openings. Whether or not she wants to take it is up to her, and no, she has not apologized for anything either, but I still want to be a decent person to her. It sure as hell doesn't feel like a happy ending. Perhaps bittersweet justice, but that's all I can give you. Thank you all for your support and reading. Story 2. My stepdad purposefully ruined my $900 prom dress by washing it. Is there anything I can do, such as take legal? Edit. Sorry, for some reason Reddit took my original post down. This is my first time using Reddit. I've never posted on here, but I need advice because I'm so distraught and have no clue what I should do. I'm only 17 and don't know if there's any legal action I can take. So for a little background, I live with my bio mom and her husband since my dad and mom separated and were never married. I originally lived with my dad since I was 2. He won custody during the custody battle. However, he later lost custody of me after having a bad work accident that made him paralyzed and he wouldn't be able to take care of me, but I still see him every weekend and the whole summer. I moved in with my mom and her husband and their 2 sons, 1 stepbrother and 1 half-brother, when I was 10. And ever since then my stepdad basically directly and indirectly says that I've disrupted their lives by coming back into my mother's life because I'm an extra person they have to take care of. I've been working since I was in 10th grade and saving up for my senior year college since last year with the money from my job, since my mom and her husband let me know that only my mom would help me with the basics such as my graduation cap and gown, senior dues, and senior class photo. Anything else I would have to pay for myself, such as prom. I get paid about $400 every 2 weeks for my job, which I've been saving in full, and then making extra money doing nails, about $100 a week plus tips, which I use as my spending money. Since it's my senior and last year of high school, I've been wanting to go all out for prom, so I set a $800 budget for my prom dress. My prom is in April and I wanted to get my prom dress early since most of the actual cute ones sell out quickly. So I went prom dress shopping in December and found a beautiful dress that cost $890. It's dark green with a long train with rhinestones embedded into it with glitter in the dress. When I first showed my mom and stepdad the dress, they asked how much it was, and I told them the amount. My mom said that she wouldn't be paying for a dress that expensive, which I replied it's okay because I have more than enough money saved up to buy it, and I'll still have a lot of money left over, $23K to be exact, but only my mom knows that. Mom said I could get the dress and that it was very pretty. However, my stepdad said that it's irresponsible and a waste of money and I should use it for better things like helping out the family and paying some of the bills. And get a dress cheaper that's max $300. Mind you, both his sons own PS5 and multiple $200 plus shoes. Long story short, my mom disagreed with him and I ended up getting the dress in the end, and she even put $150 toward it. However, ever since then he constantly brings up that I help pay for things around the house since I have so much money to throw away, but my mom always shuts it down, saying that I work hard for my money to save it and I already help about with paying the Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu bills, while my stepbrother, 18, don't pay anything. Anyway, last Saturday we got into a really big disagreement because my stepdad suggested I should help my stepbrother pay for his prom, to which I responded with no. He later called me selfish and said that it's not fair that I get an expensive outfit while he doesn't. And I guess I said in a snarky way, I responded with, that's not my child or my problem. He later tried to complain to my mom and she said that I was right and that if anything he should pay for his own prom. Well, today when I woke up from a nap I noticed my prom dress was missing from my closet, since it's in the very front of my closet, and looked around for it. I then asked my stepdad if he had seen it since my mother was at work. And he said he had, and in fact he was washing it while giving me a condescending smile. I immediately ran downstairs and saw my dress being washed on the heavy-duty cycle. I immediately cancelled it and it was ruined. The majority of my rhinestones came out and the glitter was washed out. The whole dress had been mangled. I took one look at it and then threw it in a trash bag and left for my friend's house with the dress. I texted my mom and sent her pictures, but I'm currently at my friend's house and lying on her bed. My friend's parents hung it outside to allow it to air dry, so my stepdad couldn't put the blame on them if they dried it in the dryer. What makes me know he did to spite me, because he never washes clothes, cooks, or anything, since he's the man of the house, so he shouldn't have to, so there was no viable reason he could have for washing it, even if it needed washing. Is there anything I can do? I know neither of them can replace being their tough financial situation. I'll update you guys when mom gets home. So far my stepdad has called 2x, but I haven't answered him. And my mom's at work and can't receive calls. OP's updates January 16, 2024. Edit 1. I don't know how to add updates, so Emma just add an edit, but my mom and me just got off the phone and she's pissed and on the way home. So me and my friend and her dad were on the way to my house, and my mom said she was gonna call the cops as soon as she got off the phone, so they might be there by the time I got there. We've taken pictures and the uncle, my mom's brother, will be over there by 8 BC. I contacted him while at work. I've listened to all your suggestions about withdrawing my money out of my account, so I think I talked to my dad about that as well and told me I can stay with him. Edit update 2. When I got home my friend stayed in the car while her dad walked me in, and my stepdad was already gone. However, police were at the house. As of now police said they can't really arrest him because it's not like he broke the law of stealing. I don't know how to explain it. Basically this theft isn't breaking the law. BC he washed it and didn't keep it. They suggested I can get a confession and get him to pay or take him to small claims court. Also, the dress is non-refundable if damaged, so I can't return it or anything. While explaining to my mom what happened I kinda fumbled my words and started crying, and she hugged me as I cried. And she said that he's gonna pay for this. This financial issue has actually been an ongoing disagreement and I think he just pulled the last straw. BC she is pissed. Also, I talked to my uncle and he's actually off work and on his way over here. He and my stepdad apparently have a rough history since my dad has had a smart mouth towards him in the past. While explaining to my uncle what happened he said that it would be alright and if anything he'd buy back the dress before it's sold out, so I'll have my dress by prom, but he does expect my stepdad to pay me back one way or another, so I'm basically probably gonna get my dress for free. Maybe that's a little win. I'll update more probably later tonight. But things seem to be good. Edit. Also, to clear up some confusion, I pay the streaming service bills. BC I really want to watch the shows on those services and my mom works hard but doesn't make enough to have those services on top, so I've offered to pay them so we could have them. She is not a horrible, I'll pick my husband over you mother, and she always defends me and he's never pulled a stunt like this, just tries to convince her to control my money and savings. And she's never spent my savings either. I feel like that's why they always clash, because he has a mindset of we have all these financial troubles and your daughter could solve them with her savings and you have access to them. Edit update 4. Okay, so my uncle came over and he and my mom had a little argument. BC he blamed her for enabling my stepdad's behavior by not leaving him and that's why he felt comfortable doing what he did. And she argued back saying she always defended me against him and had never taken any of my money, which is true. We all talked about it a bit and she revealed that last night they had actually had an argument about paying off a car payment because she made a comment about how all these bills are taking a toll on her, and he made a comment about how it wouldn't be that much of a toll if she used my savings and didn't allow me to spend it on foolishness, and she got mad and defensive because he keeps bringing it up. He also said that the $900 I spent could have paid off that car payment for the next 2 months. By the way, he only knows about my savings because he knows how much I get paid and that I've been saving all of it. So we think that's what triggered him to throw my dress in the washer. My mom and stepdad have also been texting back and forth, and he admitted that he washed it to teach me a lesson that I shouldn't spend that much money on a dress that can be destroyed that easily, but he put the setting on heavy duty, so he obviously intended to destroy it. My uncle has also offered to replace the dress, so I don't need to worry about not getting to wear my special dress. We called the boutique and explained it to them, and they say they can order another dress, although it won't be there until February 23rd, which is fine, to be honest. My mother sent my stepdad a long threatening message basically calling him out. She's kinda heated right now, so I will try and ask for a screenshot later. She and my father also spoke and decided that it'd be best that I get my own bank account so that my stepdad can't use the excuse that she has access to my account, so that's also great. My mom and I talked about what's gonna happen after this, and she said she's not sure as of just yet because it's all a little too much for her because she's seriously contemplating leaving him, but I guess she doesn't want to actively discuss that right now. Also, my stepdad is currently at a friend's house. I'll continue to update and possibly may get one tomorrow. My friend's parents are gonna keep the dress over at their house and Imma pick it up tomorrow to have as proof. Edit, I apologize for not being able to update since Reddit took down my post because of a no walls text rule that I was unaware of, but it's all good now. Edit update 5. My uncle has transferred me $1,000 for my prom dress, and I'm actually planning on using the money to replace the dress and buy new shoes. He's very well off, which was one reason I contacted him in the first place. So I plan on just calling the boutique and seeing if they can reorder it, and I'll just pick it up from there sometime in February. However, my stepdad still must pay in some form, or at least we are trying to get him to. My uncle has called my other uncles and aunts, with my permission, to basically vent about the situation. So the majority of my mom's side, who all live in GA, knows about what happened. I woke up to a lot of text about the situation, given sympathy, as well as money to have for prom, which totaled about $300. So this is great. My mom has also contacted my step-in-laws, who then spread the news with pictures, and I guess most of them are shocked as well, other than his mother, who is buying his claim that it's just a dress and it was an accident despite the evidence. I got a call from my stepdad's sister sympathizing for me. And through conversations with I learned that my stepdad has also been asking a lot of his family to help him with his finances. Because for some reason the dude has bought so many things to pay off he can't keep up with them. My mom called my stepdad for answers, which we recorded. And he's basically trying to blame her because if she didn't piss him off last night then he wouldn't have done it. And that he was trying to show me why I shouldn't be irresponsible with money, because I guess he planned to lecture afterwards. Also, my mom has broken up with him because he blamed her for caring more about me than him, which is weird. Which ensued in an argument with her saying, "You think I care about her more than you ARW gonna see just how much I do." Also, they've been on a rocky relationship since he can't manage money, and this was her breaking point. Edit and update 6. Sorry to post on here, Reddit keeps telling me to try again later, so sorry again. Okay, so a lot of BS has transpired. Firstly, we've placed an order for my dress, and they are shipping it now. It should be at the boutique by February 23rd, so all that is taken care of. My SD and mom are officially broken up, and my mom said she doesn't know if she'll move on with divorce proceedings yet because everything is still fresh and lawyers are expensive and she can't afford it right now. Also, they have a prenup, so they don't share assets, and the house is my grandfather's house that she inherited. She had a different dad than all her siblings, and all her siblings share a dad. So my stepfather showed up with his brother after a while, and my stepfather decided to do and buy me a new dress from Macy that looked similar to the dress in color and length, but it was very tacky and ugly. And looks nothing like the original. He then tried to apologize and said it wasn't his intention to ruin the dress. He said that he was simply gonna wash it and say, "See, this is why you don't buy things like this," and then he would have bought me another dress. But that makes absolutely no sense. Also, my uncle came back to my house after I texted him. My stepdad came back, he was at the store, and they got into a big argument where my uncle demanded to know why he destroyed the dress, and my stepdad said he's not gonna walk up in his house demanding shit, and my uncle called him a bitch. And then my SD said to call him a bitch again, which he did, and they ended up fighting. My SD lost. He threatened to call the cops, but we reminded him that he swung first. After that, my stepdad went on a tirade and cussed us out and left and took the dress with him. We are actually planning on taking y'all advice and taking him to small claims court given the evidence and the damage. And hopefully, we win. Also, my SD is staying at his parents' house currently. Lastly, for all curious about my brothers, they are 15, half, and 18, step. The 15 was at his girlfriend's house since Friday, so he wasn't home for any of the commotions, but did reach out to me today. I love him so much. And the 18-year basically sided with his dad, so that's all there is to say. Also, those who suggested changing the streaming's passwords, I have changed them. And me and my mom are gonna get me my own bank account later today. Thank you guys for all the support. I'll continue to update as things come and our plans of action and the verdict and all. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to connect with each other in the comments below. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, Corner Stories signing off.